What is effective participation in decision making? What does it really mean? Effective participation is about having knowledge and the freedom and the power to use it. It is about making your own choices and decisions. It is not about tokenism. It is about treating everyone equally. It is about changing attitudes and culture. There are two very important principles to effective participation. The first one is human rights. Everyone is equal and has the same rights. Nobody has the right to discriminate against another person. The UN Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities talks about the right of people to participate in making decisions that affect their lives. It is about having your voice heard. The second principle is equality. This is about making sure that people with disabilities are treated the same as any citizen. While every person is equal before the law, society has to work hard to make sure that equality happens for everybody. Disability equality, on top of this, is part of equality. Like many other people in Ireland, people with disabilities have not been included in society. Many people are working hard in their communities to make this happen. Levels and stages of decision making. There are different levels of decisions. There are personal decisions that you make in your own life about yourself. There are local decisions that may change things for a group of people in your area. There are regional decisions that will change things for a group of people in a bigger area of the country like Munster or Leinster. There are national decisions that can change things for people all over Ireland. At local, national and regional levels, people with disabilities do not have their voice heard enough. They do not have enough chances to take part in making important decisions. We want the plan to change this. Stages of decision making. Decisions go through a number of stages. Planning a policy, writing a policy, making the policy happen, checking if the policy is being put into action, checking if the policy is working. People with disabilities and families need to be involved at every stage of decision making. Current decision making. Working Group 3 looked at all the decision making groups and committees that are working now. They found that a big barrier to taking part in decision making is the lack of knowledge about what is happening at the moment. HSE, government, service providers and organisations who work with or for people with disabilities are overrepresented on groups who make decisions. People living with the experience of disability and families are underrepresented on groups who make decisions. Working Group 3 said, "This is not right. A quota system might help. This quota system would mean that an equal number of people with disabilities would be on groups. There should be lots of meetings with people with disabilities, governments and the HSE. These meetings would show how important it is to include people with disabilities in decision making." Barriers to effective participation in decision making. A barrier is something that blocks something or makes it hard to do something. Some barriers are easy to see, some are hard to see. Attitudes. Some people have a bad attitude towards people with disabilities. This means they do not respect them. It is hard for people to take part in making decisions when this happens. Communication. People communicate in different ways. Speaking, signing, reading, braille, using images, multimedia devices, through their body language, movement of facial expressions, and lots of other things. Sometimes it is difficult or hard for people to take part in making decisions if people do not understand the way they communicate. Access. Access is about getting in and out of buildings. It is about being comfortable in them too. If people cannot access meetings where decisions are being made, it is hard for them to take part in making decisions. Experience and knowledge. People with disabilities have a lot of experience in their own lives. Sometimes people don't understand this or respect this. Sometimes people with disabilities do not have all the information or knowledge they need to take part. This could be because they did not learn about the subject before. How meetings work. It can be hard to understand how meetings work. It can be hard to understand what should happen, especially if you've never been at a meeting before. If you find meetings hard, it will be hard for you to take part in making decisions. Lack of change. People with disabilities are sad and frustrated that when they take part in decision making now, that it does not turn into real change. It is important that participation means something real and that change happens after people give their opinions and advice to bodies like the HSE.